I have been very open and vulnerable with my life, and that means people are going to have things to say. So I am aware of this, and I have to also recognize and remember not to let these other influences shape me and dictate the way that I see myself and carry myself throughout my life. Hello and welcome to Valerie's Garden with me, Valerie. No matter which direction you choose to go, no matter how you choose to show up, you will be misperceived, you will be misjudged, and you will be judged no matter what you do in life. People will perceive you through the lens of their own experience. And for this reason, you can either let it mean something about you, or you can have this awareness and take a deep breath and allow it to recenter you. I want to explore this a bit today just because of experiences in my life where I have been misperceived and judged. And no matter what my intentions were or are, not everyone is going to receive me in the way that I hope or intend to be received. And so I kind of just want to get into this. And I think the first thing that I really want to share about this is that the best way, and look, even with this advice, well, let me share the advice, but the best way to not allow these outside opinions and judgments to throw you off center is for you to have awareness of how you carry yourself. It is to think and speak and act in a way that aligns with your best self. And I feel like when you know this and when you have decided to go about life in this way, even if other people have things to say, even if other people want to point the finger or talk about you in a way that doesn't feel truthful to who you are, if you carry yourself in this way, you will be more grounded. It doesn't matter what other people say because you know who you are and you know your intentions and you're acting in a way that is true and you're doing the best that you can is what I want to say. Just because we are human and life happens, we're not always going to be our best and most highest self. We might be frustrated. We might react at times. We might make mistakes because that is the human experience, right? And that's when you want to practice having grace and forgiveness towards yourself. But there's a butterfly, and that confirms that for me because I've just gone through a little experience where I think that, I was misperceived. Essentially, a friend just let me know that I did something that made them uncomfortable. They said it in a way to me where it was my intentions and I did X, Y, and Z and it needs to stop. And it's not the first time I've done this, and kind of coming at me with this energy of like, how could you be so malicious? How could you do this to me? Why would you use me in this way? And it hurt me. And it hurt me because this person is my friend and I love her and I care about her so much. And I would never do anything in a malicious way. Like, I want to say especially to my friends, but no, to anyone. That's not who I am. That's not who I choose to be. I don't have sneaky intentions. And because of experiences in my life where I have been not my best self, I make sure and do my very best to act as my best self now. And so it did hurt me and it did throw me off center just because I'm like, wait, how could my friend say it so matter of fact to me? And so it hurt. And then I just took a second and I apologized and I explained my side of the story to her. It just made me want to dive into this topic today because this is not the first time in my life where I have been made out to be a certain way. I also want to make sure I take accountability for my wrongdoing. So even though it wasn't my intention to hurt anyone, and in my life it hasn't been, if someone has still felt a way in effect to one of my actions, then yes, I do apologize. And I want them to know that. for me to carry it with me and for me to carry others' words and people who see me online. And I've been sharing a lot of myself online recently on YouTube, on Spotify, on Instagram. I have been very open and vulnerable with my life. And that means people are going to have things to say. So I am aware of this. And I have to also recognize and remember not to let these other influences shape me and dictate the way that I see myself and carry myself throughout my life. I want to remind you of this as well, especially if you are someone who is choosing to share more of themselves online or in whichever capacity. If you are working through a visibility, I don't want to call it a wound, but if you're working through being visible and being seen by the world, I do want to say that you should expect that not everyone will always perceive you as you hope they will. You're not going to please everyone. And that's just life. Oh, look, there's a bee. Confirmed. The sun is shining brighter through the trees. I want to share another tip as well for dealing with these situations, because yes, you can think, you can act, and you can speak in alignment with the way you most truly, in a way that truly reflects who you are and who you want to be. And I think it really does help when you know yourself. So my second piece of advice is to know yourself and to observe yourself and to be familiar with how you carry yourself throughout your days, how you interact with people, how you act when no one's watching. I think it's important to be familiar with yourself, with your thoughts, your words, your actions, because when you know yourself, well, go runners go. Oh, they're all going to be behind me. That's fine. They're doing hill repeats. That's so cool. I'll be running again soon. I am still injured. Well, I'm recovering now. And I think I just need one more week. If you are familiar with yourself and you accept who you are and you are learning, you are in a place in your life where you are learning to like yourself and even love yourself, it's okay. It's okay that the world may not see you the way that you see you. People always say the most important relationship is the relationship that you have with yourself. That's a permanent one, right? You are with you from day one till day, well, I want to say the ultimate day. You're with yourself until the ultimate day and beyond. I also just kind of want to say, I don't mean this in a way of but you can't always actually scratch what I was about to say. You can't always care about what people think. We can call this advice number 3. When you are doing a character analysis or assessment on yourself, yes, it is important to communicate with the people who know you best in life, the people who are around you more, the people who you can open up to more. And I believe that it is healthy to have these people and to share yourself with these people. If you have that beautiful relationship where people can call you out, they're going to be the ones who can tell you if, maybe you did step out of line, or maybe you could have acted another way, or, spoken a different way. So I feel like it's so valuable to be able to have these people who can check you if you need to be checked. And I feel so grateful. I have my twin sister. I have my boyfriend, Ian. I have my brother. And I think it's also really wise to not just have people in your life who are close to you, but people who I want to say are level and level-headed, and not someone who's going to just fuel the flames. And I want to say fuel the flames in a way of they'll make things more dramatic or hype it up or be like, you know what? Yeah, fuck this person, fuck that person, whatever. You can tell by the way they speak about other people. You can tell by the way they speak about themselves. So I think it's good to be mindful of who you keep close to and who you actually want to receive feedback from. If you are, trying to be the best version of yourself, if your goal is to be a mindful, conscious, kind, aware, respectful, reasonable human. And I was going to say, not only those things, of course, like for so many things, and we want to have fun and be playful and be silly and all of these other things. But I'm talking about in terms of acting in a way that's true to you, acting in a way of what you want to bring more of into the world. And for me, that really is always more encouragement, more love, more positivity, fun. Yes, I'm not perfect. I am a human. I have made mistakes in the past. We all have. So it's, what am I going to make those mean about me? And same for you. We always have the opportunity to course correct. We always have the opportunity to choose again and to choose a more empowering, a more conscious, a more loving way of being. The world will always have a lot to say. We're always talking about something. So know who you are. Choose to be your best self if that's who you want to be. Have grace towards yourself when things happen. I think it's also important for me as well to be like, did I get hurt because I do feel I did something wrong? Or do I feel bad that I hurt my friend when I really didn't mean to? The concept of intentions is also really interesting because some people will say intentions matter, and some people will be like, well, intentions don't matter, and people deal with the consequence, or people are dealing with your actions, not your intentions. So even if you meant well or didn't mean anything at all, people are still affected by what happened. And for me, I hear both. I hear both, and I feel that I personally hold both with equal weight. When you are able to break down the walls and hear someone's intentions, you can have more understanding and you can have more compassion. You can feel when someone's speaking from truth or not. And it doesn't mean that you're not hurt, and it doesn't mean that your feelings aren't valid. This is my reminder to you to also not spend so much energy on getting someone to understand you and to agree with you. I have noticed that when a person does over-explain and tries to give every detail and little thought explanation behind why they did something, it provides grounds for more questioning and potentially even more pain and hurt to come up and come out. It's important to remember the let them theory. If someone wants to think this about you, let them. If someone wants to say this about you, let them. If someone wants to believe, think, say, or act any which way toward you, let them. It's not the let them in a way of you're a pushover. It's let them in a way that you're grounded and centered, and you know that that does not define you and it does not need to shape you. It's very easy for our egos to want to be right and to be understood. We're like, can't you see it from my perspective? Can't you see it? Like, do you not see it this way? How can you not see it this way? Or how could you see it that way? It's so easy to want to be right. Even I feel that way right now. I'm like, wait, how could you not see it from my perspective? Do you genuinely feel like I would do this to you, my friend? Do you genuinely feel like that's who I am? Just taking some space. Nature is very good for that. To breathe and to shake it off, to cry it out if you need, and recenter and reground. In my last relationship, my partner and I, we went back and forth. We went back and forth because I could have done better in many ways in that relationship. He could have also done better. And instead of choosing to resolve and let it go and move forward, we kept cycling. It is not worth it to be stuck in a cycle of trying to fight for your point to be understood. We were stuck in a cycle where he wanted me to see things his way. And while I could see it his way, I also wanted him to see things from my perspective. I felt he was never truly able to see things from my perspective, and he felt I wasn't truly able to understand his. I felt I was hammered day after day after day to really get it. It was worth it because it's happened now, but it's not worth it to stay in something that's going to cycle and cycle and cycle without resolution and forgiveness. Let's take it back to where we started. Being misperceived, being misinterpreted, being misjudged in whatever capacity, whether online with strangers, whether in person with friends and family, a partner, whoever it is, whatever it is, these times occur in life. These things will happen. So what are you going to make it mean about you? How do you choose? How do you stay grounded? Remember to take accountability as well. Remember to not let it define you. Remember to not let it shape the course of your future thinking about yourself. Like saying, oh, this person online thinks whatever they think, so I must be. And oh, I'm so sad because this random person who doesn't know me at all thinks I'm just doing this for attention. And it's funny because since posting more online and being honest and vulnerable, and some things also just being like romantic and silly, I am receiving a lot of feedback. And it's quite interesting because at first some of the negative comments, they kind of were like, ooh. But then I'm like, you don't even know me. To be honest, I feel like anyone who is going to falsely accuse me of anything, and they're not someone who has a constant presence in my life, day in and day out, well, that's your opinion to keep. It's also funny for me to recognize that because I'm making this podcast topic clearly means that I was affected by my situation. But it also reminds me to remember these truths and to remember who I am and how I carry myself in the world. It's all okay, and it's all going to be okay. And I can continue my life and keep carrying myself in the best way that I possibly can. And that's simply that. That's my reminder for you too. Okay. You don't need to explain yourself to anyone. Now take accountability for your actions too, right? We're grown. It's not cute to be like, no, I didn't do this. No, I didn't do that. That's not cute. Keep doing you. Take up space. Be vulnerable. Share your truth. Share who you are. And if you know yourself and you're learning to like and love yourself and you know how you carry yourself, then these situations that just happen in life, you can let them touch you and then you can let them go. Alrighty, everyone. Thank you so much for being here with me today. Thank you for listening to this podcast and allowing me to be extra vulnerable with you and share more of my internal world. I actually feel like me having this conversation has allowed me to process things as well, because it's so easy to be stuck in the mind and let the energy and emotions kind of build up inside internally. When you speak or journal in a spacious, I want to say, way, where you can just breathe and take the time to process things, you feel better. Thank you for allowing me to speak on this. I love you. Have a beautiful day. And I will see you on next week's episode of Valerie's Garden. Bye.